Great catching with my next guest, especially when he's got a big fight like this. He's going to be taking on Edson Barboza, UFC Seattle, February 22nd. Doesn't get much better than this. It is Steve Garcia back here on the program. Steve, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Just wrapping up a few sessions here at Jackson Wink, and yeah, man, just excited to get on the call with you.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you. I feel like every time we do these interviews, it's like, okay, you got another opponent, and whether it was, short notice or whatever, but now you finally get the ranked opponent and you get a pretty notable name. Were you surprised at all, or was this something you were expecting?
A little bit of both. A
Okay.
little bit of surprise, a little bit of I kind of expected someone in the top 15 because I've been, I feel like I've been doing enough to get that. But yeah, and as far as the surprise factor, they offered me Barboza like 1 week after my last fight,
Mhm.
and I was like, man, I don't know, because I was excited about it because I've been wanting someone ranked, but my body was pretty cashed, going back to back camps and then trying to hop into another one, especially against Barboza. Um, my coach was like, dude, you need to heal up. You just need to relax a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did. And then they offered me him again like a week before Christmas. So I was like, oh man, I was like, all right, so he's still on the table. So yeah, man, I'm happy that we're able to make this happen.
And you got to go on your fishing trip, right? I remember we talked about this in the last interview. You described this whole scene for me, this beautiful place. It was in Idaho, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we went to Idaho and caught tons of fish. It was like the first time taking my son out to actually go fishing and stuff. So he caught a bunch of fish. He was
Oh,
so happy
cool.
about that. Yeah, and then in December we went on a cruise,
Oh,
and
cool. Okay, nice.
dude, it was awesome. It was kind of dangerous because in that small break that I had, I I really liked it. I really enjoyed myself. So we had to come back to Albuquerque and get to the back to the grind, and we got we got a lot of work to do. So we're back here and we're working hard.
Yeah, and so it's January 13th every time we're recording this. The fight is on February 22nd. How's the weight right now? You kind of mentioned you enjoyed yourself a bit, so is everything good?
At the beginning, it's a little
A little
nerve
iffy?
wracking, but
Okay. I like the honesty. Yeah.
yeah, finally, like we work with the UFC PI and stuff, and all those guys are great. So yeah, we're able to get it all hashed out and figured out, and yeah, we're coming along just fine.
That's good. And let's talk about Barbosa, obviously a fellow striker like yourself. He's a legend in the sport. Is it just two strikers, or is there anything else we're missing here? How do you look at this fight stylistically?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, this guy, he's in my personal opinion, he's probably one of the most dangerous strikers to ever fight in the UFC. I mean, this guy's nasty. You know what I mean? And I've watched this guy since I was a young kid. You know what I mean? And now I'm that guy stepping in to fight him, and you know it's crazy when like the people that you're watching on TV become like your actual opponents. And yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? To me, this is like must see TV. You got two guys willing to just lay it out on the line, go for it, and it should make for a hell of a fight.
Is there a bit of validation getting this fight too? Like we had talked about this. You kept knocking out your opponents. You kept doing everything you were supposed to do, short notice fights, you name it. And now they not only reward you with Edson Barboza, but he's also ranked. So there's going to be some cachet behind that if you do get the win. Did you kind of feel like, hey, this is finally paying off?
Yeah, man. I'm happy that like we're at that point now. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because I didn't know how many more people I was gonna have to fight and to beat, to get to this spot. So now we're here. They still don't give me like an easy task because Barboza's a freaking crazy guy. But at the end of the day, everybody at the top 15 are all dangerous. They're all killers. You wouldn't be ranked in the UFC and not be a killer. So um, I think that this is gonna be a good fight. I think this is gonna be my chance to really prove that I belong. I feel like I've always belonged, but I feel like I belong there. You know what I mean in the rankings. So it's actually going to be a good challenge, and I think that I mean I'm welcoming it 100%.
So you mentioned you had the cruise and the other trip. When did you start camp for this fight? You said you found it before Christmas. So did you train through the holidays, or was the cruise during the holidays? Take me through sort of the timeline of getting this fight and how you structured camp.
I think I got it like a week before Christmas. I think it
Okay.
was a week before Christmas. So like I did enjoy my Christmas. But yeah, we kind of just like hopped right back into camp. like I said, I enjoyed myself. I had to make sure that like I had to take care of that situation first. And yeah, man, we have I think we have like 6 weeks now, I think, till
Nice.
we fight or something like that. So we still got a little bit of time, but yeah, man, the new year was, start off with a bang for sure.
Um, Training camp. Who've been some of the main training partners helping you get ready for this fight in particular?
I mean, really, we've had a wide, variety of things. We've had a couple different people. We have this guy coming in from Mexico. His name is Pablo, and this dude, man, he's a scrapper, man. He's a scrapper. He's kind of one of those guys that are just kind of unknown, but they come in the gym and man, they just really just they can scrap. So he's been a big one. I've gone with a few different like heavier weights. We have like Joe Bowman. I've gone rounds with is giving me simulations. Chris Brown, Chris Breezy.
Yeah,
I've grappled with Aaron Pico.
that's right.
Um,
Yeah,
in our grappling, yeah, in our grappling sessions. We're really just trying to get a lot of looks that are very similar um Barboza, really. So
yeah.
I brought in a couple of different guys that are, just spinning on me, that have really good leg kicks, that, are really going to simulate just, all the stuff. And I'm really, honestly, I'm just really welcoming, just as much pain as possible right now because I don't want to be surprised in there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And who's going to be making the trip with you to Seattle? Who will be in your corner for this fight? Usually your dad is, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's my normal three. It's my dad, Winking Greg.
Okay, excellent. And I don't think this fight's hitting the scorecards. When is this fight ending? Let's put it that way. How do you see this fight playing out?
You know what, man? Like, I never really give prediction or anything like that. I mean, it could go. Most of them are. What I have like three first rounds.
Yeah.
I have three first rounds, and then I have uh, what do I have four second rounds.
Mhm.
I don't know. Probably. I mean, all the favors you're probably leaning the second round, but Barboza. This is kind of like the new thing too. Is that like Barboza's seen it all. A
Mhm.
lot of these guys that I fought, I feel like they haven't seen someone like me. You know what I mean? Barboza's faced people like a Gaethje, have fought people like a Tony Ferguson, or he's fought the Khabibs. He's fought everybody. You know what I mean? This guy has seen it all. I think he knows that how to navigate through a fight with just about anybody. So it's going to be interesting to see that dynamic. But he has not fought me yet. You know what I mean? And so it's not that I bring something totally different to the table. It just like you're just gonna have to figure out how to fight another killer like myself. And and how I pretty much managed to navigate in that fight as well. You know what I mean? I've been in several dog fights. Um, some of them where I was out of the fight, and some of them where I was in the fight, and it was just going back and forth and stuff like that. And I feel like there's potential for this to be that. So that's what's cool about this is that we get to see. You know what I mean? So if you tune in on February 22nd, you're gonna be able to see, who's gonna you know take it all.
Obviously, we've got a big card this Saturday, UFC 311. Just your thoughts on the co-main and main event. We'll start in the co-main. We got Merab and Umar for the bantamweight title. I think Umar is a pretty big favorite going into this one. Who do you favor in that fight? Who do you think gets it done?
I think Umar will take it.
Okay.
His striking is great. To be able to do what he's what to okay, let's just step back a little bit. And able to go into a fight with someone like Corey Sandhagen, and actually do well with Corey Sandhagen because he's a baller. That's huge. And then on top of that, to have the wrestling pedigree that he has, on top of that, I mean, I just don't know who can truly match that either. You know what I mean? Merab is very one dimensional. Like he doesn't put his strikes together very, very well. It's all to cater towards his grappling and his control and his ability to pretty much um be the dominator in the fight. You know what I mean? Even if there's no hard punches or anything like that, like he's almost like controlling the fight. Umar, on the other hand, is very, very dangerous. He has his wrestling, he has great striking. I guarantee you, he has great submission ability. Just because that whole camp that he's out of is, they're all killers in that way. So, yeah, I'd probably go with Umar.
And then just the main event, Islam and Arman, the rematch. Who's taking that?
Islam and Arman. Yeah. If I go with Islam Makhachev,
Yeah.
it's just his time. It's it's crazy to see these guys coming. I think from Dagestan. I think that's where he's from, and they're dominating. They're doing great things, and they're training like nobody else. They're taking these fights like it's their last one. And um, I see like Arman being a worthy opponent because they've gone before. They've honestly like had a very very good fight early on, so this should be even a higher caliber of a fight. But Arman has the tools. He has the tools to win. He does. He's good enough to beat Makhachev. But the question is just will he be able to? Like he has to overcome it. And you have to, from in my opinion, you have to take the belt. You know what I mean? And to be able to do that to Makhachev is it's gonna be tough.
Obviously, big name here, ranked opponent, a win over Barboza. Where does that set you up, for the rest of the year? Because that's got to put you on a, pretty strong momentum towards getting in that contender spot, I would think.
Yeah, man. I like to think so. I mean, I gotta get through Barboza first, and that's a tall task.
Mhm.
But you know, looking past it, I really try not to. But if I had to, I'd probably, somewhere in that mid range. I mean, I'm on Leon Murphy's tail right now.
Mhm.
He's doing well. I think a fun fight would probably be is it Josh Emmett? That'd be a
Yeah.
fun fight. Um, you know, maybe an Ortega. Yeah, yeah, man. I don't really look too far ahead.
Mhm.
I'm at a point in my career and in my life that like it's just God's plan. It's not my plan. Whatever happens, happens. And um, if I take control, sometimes things just mess up. You know what I mean? So when things are going good, I typically just kind of just let it happen. I don't force anything.
That's a good way to look at it. Do you think your buddy Jon Jones? Do you think he returns again? Do you think he's going to fight again, or do you think that's it? Just outsider looking in. Do you think he fights again?
I'm curious to see what his FU money is he's asking for. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
Uh, I think he has that competitive nature in him. He wants to fight. I think he does. And the fact is that like he was saying that he wants other fights. So like he
Mhm.
still wants to fight. The hard part is getting the UFC to cooperate with that demand.
Mhm.
Um, will he let it happen? I think it might be kind of strange, but I do think that like if John wants to continue to compete, like they're gonna make him fight Tom Aspinall.
Mhm.
And if John's the type of person don't like to be told by to do like anything by anybody.
Mhm.
So he's if he can't make that call out or can't like, be the shot caller in that sense, I think he'll just hang him up, to be honest. I do
Okay.
feel like he has that competitive edge and he wants to compete though. Like I do think that.
So you do think he'll return, or you don't? Because you just said there that if I maybe I didn't hear you
Come on,
right,
man,
but
I'm
you
trying to get away. I'm trying to
yeah
maneuver
yeah
around
yeah
it.
yeah no no
You know?
I get it. Like I get it. I
You
guess
know
I guess
what?
just the only thing is like if he doesn't fight Aspinall at heavyweight, then who does he fight? I know there's Pereira, but Pereira's a light heavyweight unless he moves up. But
Yeah.
then I don't know. I don't know what you do there. It's a tricky one, right?
I feel like it's almost getting to a point where like he wants to like just have fun now. So like to have
Yeah.
fun. It could even be outside the UFC, and I don't know if the UFC wants that. That's what's hard.
Well,
Is that
I
like
don't know if they'll let him even like unless
yeah,
they'd have to be involved, right? So I don't know. I guess.
that's that's like the biggest thing is that like he's probably the next closest thing to Connor.
Mhm.
And so, but I don't know how because obviously Connor and Dana they have like a really great relationship from what it seems. I don't know how good that relationship is with John and Dana. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. But who wouldn't want to go see Jon Jones maybe go fight? Some of these boxers, in a different league or a different promotion. Um, I feel like John just wants, like I said, I think he's kind of just over being the greatest in the UFC. He wants to probably just dab into a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So that's what makes it so hard.
Okay.
If I had to like say from right now, from this point on, no, he wouldn't fight again because I feel like he's not in control of that.
Okay.
The moment that he can have control or they allow him to have control and he can kind of make some decisions, then yeah, I think you'll see him back. But that's that negotiation process is probably gonna be fun.
Mhm.
I like to be a fly on that wall, but
Mhm.
that's just my personal opinion.
Okay, well, we'll go with that. Last question: have you ever been to Seattle before?
No, I've
No.
never been to Seattle before, so I'm kind of curious. I heard it rains a lot. I heard it smells like fish.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, no,
I don't
it
know.
does, and that's not like an insult. It's like it's a coastal city, right? So you're going to get a lot of fish, and they got the Seattle
Yeah.
market and all that stuff. Did you know the arena that you're going to be fighting at is actually underground? Did you know this?
I really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's
Did
it's
not
the
know
it's
that.
the Seattle Kraken. It's the NHL team. They play there, and like if you look on street level, you'll see the arena, but you actually have to take like an escalator down, and so it'll be underneath like the ground, which is kind of cool. I don't know if you've ever
Huh.
even fought like that before, somewhere that's like underground. That's kind of neat.
Did I come back? I come from like a background of like I was warming up in like bullpens, like literally bullpens, like
Right.
where
Yeah,
like
fair enough. Yeah.
yeah, the bulls are warmed up or they get released and stuff, and I'm walking on dirt and trying to make my way to the cage, and you're fighting like early on, you're fighting vatos from anywhere, and whoever's willing to fight. So that's kind of where I'm from. But yeah, dude, I haven't fought anything like that. That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be pretty cool. Like I said, I'm curious to see how it's gonna be. I've never been there. Um, I you know I've always want to kind of visit it.
Mhm.
What I mean, so I get that opportunity to go check it out. So yeah, I mean, because I visit Idaho a lot. I mean, I always fly into um Washington. There's an airport over there that we fly
SeaTac. I think
into.
that's the airport in Seattle. SeaTac. I think that's what it used to be called. I don't know. But anyways, I,
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not good with airport names. Doesn't sound like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are
yeah,
either.
yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Steve, thanks for doing this. It's UFC Seattle, February 22nd. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
Oh, cool. Well, appreciate you bringing me on. And I just, always love, having a conversation with you. It's always
Well,
fun.
thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I always give, God praise and glory in everything that I do. So, I'm nothing without him. So, got to do that. And my family, my wife, and everybody else that I fight for, all the fans and stuff like that tune in. Thank you so much. I'm going to continue to just lay it all out on the line for you guys. And, no matter what happens, you're going to give my all. And, yeah, man, that's pretty much it. That's what I got for you guys.